Kakashi at this point isn't doing whole body Kamuis. So like Kabuto can't just substitute and just heal it. And then that can make Kakashi stop using it forever.
You don't think so? I mean, Kakashi thinks that he can full body Kamui Kakuzu away, seemingly.
That's not what he says. That's not what he says.
Well, then what's he gonna do?
I guess he was aiming for Datara's head, right? But I mean, this is my headcanon. But my headcanon is that it's really difficult to Kamui someone that's not willingly getting Kamui'd because of their chakra or whatever. Because like if he could just snipe people with his Kamui, that would be just way too broken. He doesn't use it enough.
But yeah, also, Oodie, that's another thing. If he was so confident he could just snipe away Kakuzu's whole body, bro, he would have just done it. If the Diva Path's about to kill me, he's not sniping away the needle, okay? The nail. He's sniping away the Diva Path.
Whatever.
Yeah, I don't. And then we can even see that in the war when he tries to Kamui the head of the Ghetto Mazo, it takes a while for it to activate, and Obito just cancels it out.
I mean, the Ghetto Mazo is huge. And I wouldn't say that's fair, Kamui, because he does try and just do that to Datara's head. Why doesn't he do that to the Deva Path's head?
Well,
exactly.
Because Datara was flying on a straight path.
Well,
so
but
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Well, that's why he
I'm
missed, though. It's because both Datara and himself are moving, so it's hard to aim.
No, but Datara was still flying on a straight line, and he had Datara's sight the entire time. Like, he wasn't taking... Datara was not zigzagging, he was not trying to hide, so it takes time for Kamui to Kamui like a real human being.
The first time he used it there, it did take a lot of time. It doesn't take a lot of time after that.
At that point in time, he needed a long time to charge it up, and Datara was giving him that time, essentially, by not really fighting him. And it was really the only long-range jutsu Kakashi had to work on Datara, so he was basically just left with no choice. In the case of, like, Kakuzu, we don't know exactly how good he is with Kamui at that time.
I mean, but you would guess he is better than in the Kazekage Rescue.
The fact that he thinks he can win the Kakuzu fight with it.
You don't train your Mangekyo Sharingan, you just evolve it. You just evolve your abilities by using them. So he would be better with it against Kakuzu. And the reason, like, if he could just use it and kill Kakuzu immediately, he would have, I think. Because
no, that's not fair, though, because then why didn't he do that against Datara or anyone else? The point is that he doesn't...
He did. It's the first jutsu he does on Datara.
Bro, that's so ridiculous that you would say that.
But again, though, at the time, he specifically needed a very long time to charge it up.
It was his ace in the hole.
In the anime, it's really long, but even in the manga, like, he's charging it up for a while, and he needs Naruto to, like, cover him, basically.
Yeah, it was his ace in the hole because he was desperate. His, like, last tactical maneuver that he wanted to do.
But Oodie, if it takes him that long, if you're going to carry that over to later in the arc and it takes him that long to charge up, then you just can't use it against these other opponents.
Also doesn't take him that long. No, it doesn't take him that long, Kamui, because he Kamui'd away Datara's explosion. It doesn't take him that long.
By the end of that arc. That's why I had canon that it takes longer for you to Kamui real people that don't want to be Kamui'd. Because Naruto in the fight against Obito, he obviously wants to be Kamui because that's their plan. But when you're trying to kill someone or trap someone by Kamui'ing them, then it's going to take longer because it's a limitation of the jutsu. I don't know, the chakra the person has within it makes it more difficult for you to Kamui. And when you're Kamui'ing objects and explosion and things like that, then it's quicker because you don't have that limitation anymore. Yeah, he
Kamui'd away the explosion that's bigger than Datara, by the way. So I guess full body Kamui, I guess that's just ridiculous now, apparently, huh?
I agree, it is ridiculous, but like,
but no, it's not. Weird. It's because he wants it to be his last maneuver. If he can win the fight without it, he'll try and do that because he doesn't want the strain.
Oodie, just so how stupid do you think Kakashi is versus the Diva Path when he's got his last maneuver? He can Kamui the nail after Pain throws it, or he can just Kamui Pain before he throws the nail.
But Kamui, here's the thing that you're missing. The Deva Path was speed blitzed by that. Okay, it doesn't take a long charge up time. It doesn't take long to actually do the Kamui portal. The Deva Path was perception blitz. It didn't see the Kamui.
You're only making my point. If he can do that, how stupid do you think he is?
Then he must be pretty stupid, Kamui.
Okay, and that's not true because he's smarter than Shikamaru, canonically stated.
Then why didn't he do that versus the Deva Path?
Because he couldn't at the time.
Oh, but he could at the end of the fight? No, and he chose to do the nail instead of the head?
Couldn't do a full body Kamui.
He doesn't need a full body
Nobody
Kamui.
knows
He
why.
just needs a Kamui the head.
You could
Which
also
is-
just argue he just assumed the Diva path would just Shinra Tensei and it would work, but that's a separate.
Well, more realistically,
I
I think he
mean-
didn't do that because he wanted to fake his own death, so he wouldn't
He
die.
probably also might have just not had enough chakra too, because it's a bigger body, bigger Kamui.
I don't think that's the case, considering he does another Kamui after the fact with the missile. I think he wants to fake his death so he can get away since there's other paths. The
I was gonna
missile's
say the head is
Bro.
also the most difficult
Bro.
target to hit on a body.
We can't be saying the missile wasn't big. Is ridiculous.
Yeah, but technically, if you just Kamui a hole in somebody's chest, they're gonna die.
I also don't think it's fair to say
Yeah.
the head's not that big when he's like at point blank range and neither of them are moving.
I would also say we've seen that canonically Obito has issues trying to grab people into his Kamui. It seems to be more difficult than just using it on himself or on other objects. It seems to take
Yeah,
him more energy
That's
to pull people
that's
into it.
the justification I use in my head canon.
I was thinking about it when you said it because even Obito, who uses and spams it constantly, can move himself faster than he can do grabbing other people.
Yeah, he has to grab someone physically to do it quick to somebody else. But if he doesn't touch them, it's slower for him to suck them into Kamui.
I mean, I don't think so, because think about later on, he just doesn't use this at all against people. He used it against Sasuke's freaking Susanoo arrows, which are speed blitzing literally everyone at the time, including
Yeah, but
Kakashi.
Susanoo arrows are not people. So you
Bro,
can't Kamui
we can't
them
be
faster than
saying.
people.
Okay,
I
he's
would
not
also
using
say
it on Edo
projectile-
Madara, who's not a person.
Oodie, this is stupid. This is stupid. But Obito does pull out those big ass shuriken faster, at least in the anime. He pulls them out faster than he pulls out people.
I think, now this is stupid. Clearly, Kamui has a speed with both one eye and two eyes. And so we see that in the Jubito fight. They're using it on a person. It's clearly the same thing for a person. The thing that matters is a size. Considering he Kamui's Killer Bee.
Slower the Kamui though. From
Well,
what we've seen. It does seem like it
the
slows
size-
all around. So it does seem like
The
it takes
size
longer to
also.
Kamui
I mean,
appear.
I wouldn't even say that because, I mean, Kakashi Kamui the eight tails.
Exactly.
It was pretty quick. So the size.
I don't know if we can say that
but
explosion
Dygo,
for big-
And-
it's
and
not
the
just the eight
eight-tails-
tails. It's Killer Bee.
Well, no. Okay, so hold on. My head can. First of all, it's actually just a tentacle, and then the eight tail substitutes, right? It's not.
Is
the
that true?
entire
Yeah, that made it faster. That made the Kamui faster.
Wait, is that true?
But if the person is willing to be Kamui'd, then that doesn't apply.
Wait,
because-
how did it substitute? What do you mean by that?
So that he Kamui's the eight-tailed tentacle, and then but B does his tentacle substitution hide in the tentacle trick thing to where the tentacle just poofs into the eight tails after he unkamuis it.
Yeah.
So then to
You
clarify,
can see him Kamuing first, like the thing that comes out first is just one tentacle, and then the tentacle turns into the eight tails.
so to clarify, he did the same trick that he did against Sasuke.
Yes, and Momoshiki and Bada, the same thing. He
Okay,
always
okay.
does.
Well, then that tentacle just is Killer Bee.
But it's tentacle size.
But it's Killer Bee.
Tentacle
Yeah,
size.
but if you're willing, then
The argument isn't
Kamui
about the
works
size;
best.
it's about if it's a person or not.
yes. But he's a willing person.
We cannot be saying willing person matters here. What do you mean?
Yeah, because if you're trying to fight against somebody using Kamui, that person is not willing to be Kamui'd. But if you are, Kakashi can do it faster, so that's how he Kamui's Naruto's clone really
True.
fast before Obito gets him, and then Naruto unmasks Obito.
There's no way that's true. That's ridiculous.
Why?
I didn't work against Fu or Torina.
I mean, that was Obito, and he was touching them.
So do we think that
And it
Edo
can work.
Tensei-
And also, Obito's Kamui is different because Kakashi's is long range,
so
which makes it more OP. So you have to nerf it that way for it not to completely destroy like the balance of the power system.
but Madara doesn't have any counters against Kamui at this point in time, right? Especially as an Edo Tensei when he's not technically a person yet.
well, it's possible his gun by Uchiwa can absorb him, but we don't know.
That's ridiculous.
No, I wouldn't. I don't think so because Kamui can Kamui truth-seeking orb, so I think he would also just Kamui the Gunbai.
True, yeah.
Probably. But Aqua Mirror Jutsu, I'm sorry.
That's all you need. But Ace, come on, you got to be on my side on this. This is absurd that they're saying all this.
I would say that from what I've seen and thinking about the evidence, it bears some type of fruit where it could be possible.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Kishimoto's just being Kishimoto. He's not thinking this out. I think it just is inconsistent.
Oh,
like,
no, absolutely no. He's not thinking that. This is my head canon to justify it.
Well, no,
I think Kishimoto wants Kakashi to struggle to use Kamui effectively against, Kakuzu and Pain. It's also a last resort, but the reason it's a last resort is because it's not easy to pull off in the first place. Like, but then he wants him to be able to do that explosion in the Datara fight, which is subjectively a more ridiculous feat, but he wants him to have his cake and eat it too when he shouldn't.
I mean, even when you take a look into the Kamui he used against the Asurapeth missile, that's a really long distance Kamui, because that missile travels a long distance.
I don't even know how he did that. That's not in his range of vision. He's like going around corners and stuff.
I mean, I don't remember if in the manga it's a little different, because in the anime it's really ridiculous because Choji runs like half the elite village, and Kakashi's Kamui kind of chases the missile.
Yeah, it's like can he Kamui someone through a wall? It's like, what?
Yeah, he has a Byakugan too. Apparently. But I think it's 424. Yeah. So Choji runs.
Lewis with another donation.
He did.
This discourse shall no pain. Take it to the Kamui dimension.
No. Okay, this is an anime problem. This is an anime problem because in the manga you can clearly see Kakashi is. The missile doesn't travel nearly as long, and Kakashi's like staring straight into Choji's back when it disappears. So that makes sense. In the anime, it's just ridiculous.
What chapter is it again?
They added drama for the anime.
Yeah, it's 424.
I mean, it's cool.
Let's see how slow it looks. I think in the anime,
it looks pretty quick. It looks pretty quick. In the manga, at least. Because like Kakashi looks, the missile is about to hit Choji, and then Kamui takes effect, and the missile disappears.
I don't think it's that Kishimoto wasn't thinking. Once Kakashi has the ability, I think that it's Kishimoto just using the same. Like, he has to come up with an excuse for why Kakashi isn't going to instantly no-diff every opponent he ever comes across, and he does write in an excuse. So I do think that's his way of getting around it. I do think he was thinking about it every single fight.
What's the excuse he wrote for the Kakuzu fight?
It's the same. Well, he does directly state it. It's the same as the Zabuza fight. The same reason that Kakashi waits to pull out his Sharingan. He doesn't want to have the strain on his body, especially mid-battle.
Wait, he pulls it out immediately.
No. In the Zabuza fight, he pulls it before it begins, even.
Yeah.
He waits a little bit.
Because of the level of opponent he was dealing with, he went.
Yeah, he immediately pulls it out.
But he says that if Naruto hadn't shown up there, I would have to use my Mangekyo Sharingan against Kakuzu. Which, yeah, I guess, but because I can get that because they had a plan in the beginning, and Kakashi just get Kakuzu from behind with a Raikiri, which would kill 99.9% of people outright, and you wouldn't have to worry about using your Mangekyo. But then when you find out, oh, okay, this guy has 4 more lives. That's
he was also being overwhelmed. He also doesn't know how the opponent's ability works. If he Kamui's Kakuzu and the hearts are still around, does that even matter at that point? But the fact he's being overwhelmed, he has to defend his allies as well. He doesn't really even have the time to use it. He is having to do so much other stuff, especially until Hidan gets taken away.
If you take into account he's not as experienced with the Mangekyo at that point, I guess that could work too. Because in the work, he's using Kamui as if it's just a jutsu he had.
Exactly. He's spamming Kamui in the war arc, but he's not using it against the 7 Ninja Swordsman. He's not using it against tons of opponents.
Yeah, because he didn't need to.
He didn't need to,
obviously.
But I would also.
That's exactly my point. He didn't need to against Kakuzu until at the very end.
Yeah, but the situation Kakashi was in at the end of the fight, it was a really bad situation. Let's be real. He was. trapped by the wires there, and he was gonna get blazed into Inferno by that fire style wind style combination. And that was a really large jutsu. Like, I don't know if it's. We can, I guess, compare the panels.
I mean, to be honest, that just was plot. Kakashi just unironically, Kakashi should have died there. Kakashi should have died there. It's so ridiculous that he did it.
I think he would have used it for that. But real quick, I know you're talking about Oodie. That's just not in the manga, though. Kakashi just doesn't allude to that he was going to use his Mangekyo in the manga. I'm looking. He just doesn't say it.
I think it's somewhere. I think
does he say that? I think it's after the arc ends.
Yeah.
Like when they're in the Leaf Village already.
Sure.
Maybe it's okay. If that's what it is, then
I think it's somewhere around when they're like doing the autopsy on Cox's body.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look there then.
But it's not just
not during the fight.
It's not just the strain it puts on his body. Obviously, the more he uses it, the more he's going to go blind. He doesn't want that, so it's the same reason every Sharingan user doesn't use their Mangekyo. Instinctively, he does.
I mean, you can probably feel the damage that it causes. That if you use it and you realize how much damage it does to you. I mean, and originally just using his Sharingan for even a short fight would put him down for a week. So you have to imagine he would assume that an enhanced Sharingan would have a bigger drawback later on.
Exactly. Like, it's his last resort move for a reason.
Yeah,
like, there's a reason he doesn't come into the cave with Sasori and Deidara with it already ready active. Because he doesn't want to use it.
Yeah. I mean, same reason why he doesn't wear it
beforehand.
around all the time, because his Sharingan isn't naturally for his body. It drains his chakra constantly.
Exactly.
To be fair, though, when he's fighting Pain, who killed Jiraiya, it wouldn't be a bad idea to have that already pretty early.
Well, I would say put it this way. It's kind of like if you know that once you pull it out, you got maybe a good 3-4 minutes of strong battle before you start to get completely exhausted otherwise.
Well, do we know that's true, though? So if he's not using... This goes for blindness, too. If he's not using the ability of Kamui, he just has the Mangekyo pattern. Is he becoming any more blind?
I don't think
he's
so.
Not using the ability.
I think it's probably going to sap his chakra more, but he's not getting blinder, if that makes sense, just by having the Mangekyo activated.
I think he probably is getting blind passively, but on a much smaller degree than he would be if he uses his abilities.
I guess...
Because we do have an example of this. An example of this would be Itachi and Kisame's first meeting. Itachi activates the Mangekyo, but doesn't use it.
Yeah.
But nothing says he was getting more blind from
No, I know. I'm just saying that we have an example of this.
He used it then, and ideally we assume Itachi also is smart enough that he wouldn't actually activate it and cause damage if he didn't need to.
I mean, it obviously spends more chakra, because otherwise you would just walk around with your Mangekyo activated all the time, and even Madara doesn't do that with an EMS, which doesn't blind him. He just walks around with a Sharingan. And even the Sharingan by itself is going to spend a little bit of chakra, even from an Uchiha who has like the right body for it. But we can see like even people who don't have like this massive chakra reserve like Itachi walking around with the Sharingan activated. So I don't think it will blind you more, but maybe just in a very small rate. But it's definitely going to spend more chakra.
Yeah. Here, I will make it
that's the big nerf of Kakashi.